Hi everyone! Today I will show you all the locations where you can find Eevee and Eeveelutions in a new Pokemon Snap game. Note that I also had separate videos for each of the Eeveelution before, but I discovered new locations for them after posting the videos. Hopefully this video will cover every single location that our friendly Eeveelutions appear in the game. First, let's start with Eevee, which can be found in two locations. The first location is quite early in the game, as the Illumina spot at level 2, in the Flareon Nature Park. You can't miss Eevee here because it's the first thing you see jumping above the Meganium at the very beginning of the route. Eevee will follow along the Meganium throughout the route, so you can get a lot of great photos here with the Eevee. The second location is also in the Floria Island, just right at the research camp with the professor. However, you can only unlock this location after you finish the Illumina spot in the Elsewhere Forest. And Eevee can appear here both outdoor on the table, or indoor in the professor's lab. For the outdoor location, you will not miss Eevee as she is just the first thing you see on the table.
That's the stuff!
One interesting thing about Eevee is that if you hit Eevee with the apple, she will run away from you. However, if you hit her friend, which is a Trubbish on the table, she will be angry at you and jump onto the ground for a much closer look. And here, you can feed her with apple and get many good shots. Note that there are two routes in the research camp, and they are triggered alternatively. And in the other route, you will see Eevee again, sleeping on the floor. To wake up the Eevee, throw the Illumina orb at both the Eevee and the Stoutland, and then run a few scans. And this is also where you can complete the Lentalk Eevee party, where he plays with the Cutie Fly. The second evolution you will see is the Sylveon. Sylveon can show up only in the Floria Nature Park, in both the Night route and the Illumina Spot route, at level 2 or higher for each route. For the Night route, there are two locations where Sylveon can show up. The first location is at the middle here, after you see a lot of Torterra, where you will see a sleeping Sylveon. And the second spot is towards the end of the route, where Sylveon is hiding within the flowers. One interesting Lentalk request that's related to Sylveon is the Best Friendmates request. To do that, you first throw an Illumina orb at the pincer here, and then scan a few times to get the Heracross to come out. Then, at the middle of the route, you will see Heracross and pincer, and also a Sylveon sleeping next to the Torterra. Wake Sylveon up by throwing an Illumina orb, and then you should play music here where Heracross and Pinsir are fighting, so that they will stop their fight and Sylveon will jump out of the grass. And this is also the best location for you to get a 4-star photo for these 3 Pokemons. The second location to find Sylveon at the Night route is towards the end, where Sylveon is hiding within the grass next to the Torterra. Scan to find her location, and then throw an Illumina orb to wake her up, and you can feed her with apples.
It's time.
The last location to find Sylveon is in the Illumina spot at level 2, where you can also find Eevee. This is the only location where you can find 2 different evolution types in the same place. To find Sylveon here, you want to look at the right of the route and run the scan to find where the sleeping Sylveon is. All you need to do here is to throw Illumina Orb at the Sylveon, and she will jump out and play with Eevee. That's all locations where you can find Sylveon, and interestingly, Sylveon is always sleeping in the game before you wake her up.
Awesome!
Next, you will be able to find Leafeon at both the day and night routes of Fangja Jungle once you reach level 3 in any of the 2 routes. There are quite a lot of places where Leafeon show up. For example, in the day route, you can find Leafeon at the middle of the route near the ancient ruins. You can also find Leafeon at the alternate routes behind the waterfall. Let's take a closer look at where you can find Leafeon. Here we are at the day route, and once you reach the ancient ruins area, look carefully to the grass area to the left of the route, and you should find Leafeon resting quietly there. Another place where you can find Leafeon is behind the waterfall, and to get there, you need to throw the Illumina Orb at the leopard at the cliff here, so that it will run away, opening up the alternate route for you behind the waterfall. Once you get behind the waterfall, you should see Leafeon there, playing with Sobble. And if you take a photo of Leafeon and Sobble together, it will be a 4-star photo. And looks like Leafeon is laughing really hard here. You can also find Leafeon at the night route at Fangja Jungle. Again, Leafeon show up multiple times here. First at the middle of the route, and then towards the end, and you will not miss it. Here is the Leafeon that you should see at the middle of the route, near the bounce weight. You can get a lot of photos of Leafeon here, but Leafeon never turns around to look at you. So what can you do here? Once you see a lot of leopard coming, you can play music here for Leafeon to run happily in circle before he hits into the Mola on the left side, which is a good opportunity for some nice photos.
That's the stuff!
Finally, you can find Leafeon again near the end of the route, just right beside the river. Again, Leafeon will always be ahead of you and never turns back to look at you. To get him to do something, this is what you need to do. Once Leafeon runs to the side of the crystal bloom, you can throw an Illumina Orb to light it up, and then play music here. Then Bounce Switch will come out and interact with Leafeon, allowing you to get some 4-star photos here. The next evolution is Flareon. Flareon can be found on the Fire Flow Volcano route once you reach level 3. It's quite easy to find Flareon here. For example, it appears towards the end of the main route. What you need to do is just continue towards the end of the route, and you will see Flareon sleeping. To wake up Flareon, throw Illumina Orb at the Flareon, and he will jump out to the rock below it. You can also find a lot more Flareons in the alternate route. In fact, this is the only evolution that show up in groups among all the 80 evolutions. To go to the alternate route, you need to scan very early, just a little bit after you see a Charmander and an Archeops. Once you choose the alternate route, just speed forward until you reach a wide open area, and you will see a lot of Flareons. And this is also where you can get a 4-star Flareon photo. What you need to do here is to throw apple to the Flareon, and take a photo when Flareon emits fire to burn the apple. And finally, at the end, you will see 3 Flareons working up the area as a group. The next evolution is Espeon. Espeon can be found in the Elsewhere forest, in both the forest route and at the Illumina Spot route. Espeon shows up at multiple places in the Elsewhere forest at level 3, starting right at the beginning of the forest. And you won't miss it because it will show up at your side before you even start the journey. Espeon can also be found at the second Foggy Forest area, as part of the Little Lost Deerling Land Talk request. To do that, you will need to light up 4 crystal blooms along the way, to guide Deerling to meet up with Espeon and her parents. Note that for the 3rd crystal bloom, you want to light up the one further away to complete this request. And finally, once you light up the 4th crystal bloom, Espeon will jump out and have a nice time with Deerling here.
Nice!
I have another more detailed video on this too, as you can see on the card above. The final place to see Espeon will involve choosing the alternate route here to follow where Deerling is going, instead of where Espeon is going. Isn't that weird? Maybe it's a different Espeon, or maybe Espeon knows Psychic and can teleport anywhere he wants. In this final area, you will be able to find Espeon to the left of the area here. The last place you can find Espeon is at the Illumina Spot route, where Espeon is at the end of the route. You shouldn't miss Espeon because she's just resting at the final area. And that are all the places where you can find Espeon. Next, let's see where Glaceon is located in the game. Glaceon can be found in the Shiver Snowfields after you reach Research Level 3 at either the day or the night route. At the day route, you can find Glaceon in 2 places. First, you will see Glaceon at the top of the cliff, where you need to take a photo for her to show up again later. Once you take the photo here, you will be able to find Glaceon at the end of the route for some 4-star photos. Let's look in details where to find Glaceon at the day route. First, around the middle of the route, you will be in an open area with lots of mammal swine. Look to the cliff at the top left of your route and wait for Glaceon to come up. And here's the Glaceon, walking slowly on the cliff. Take a photo here and Glaceon will run away. Then towards the end of the route, you will find Glaceon walking in the icy area to the right of the lake. What you want to do here is to throw an apple on the ice in the middle of the lake before Glaceon stops working. Then Glaceon will jump out behind the ice for the apple.
Nice.
Throw an Illumina Warp here for Glaceon to use Diamond Dust here for 4-star photo. Apart from the day route, you can also find Glaceon at the night route in the open area after you pick the first alternate route. To find Glaceon here, what you want to do is to choose the alternate route here. Once you are in the second area, look carefully at the cliff to the left to find Glaceon sleeping here. It's easy to miss it since it's very dark here. You can wake Glaceon up by throwing an Illumina Warp at Glaceon, and then she will wake up and jump to the other cliffs multiple times. Glaceon will also show up again in the final area of the route here. Look carefully at the top of the cliff to the right for some final photos of Glaceon. Next, let's look at where we can find Umbreon in the game. Umbreon can be found in the last area in Ruins of Remembrance, once you reach Research Level 3 here. There are two places to find Umbreon. The first is at the beginning of the route, once you enter the ruins. If you lure Umbreon out here, you will find Umbreon again towards the end of the route for some better photo opportunities. In the first place, once you enter the ruins, you will find a Noivern guarding some space here. Throw some Illumina Warp at the Noivern so that she will fly away. Then what you need to do is to look to the left of the route where you will find a hidden area. Throw Illumina Warp at the Salandit for it to run away. And then throw some apple to lure Umbreon out of the area. Umbreon will then run ahead of you. And you can find Umbreon sleeping somewhere near the end of the route. Throw Illumina Warps twice at Umbreon here, and she will wake up for some nice photo opportunities. Next, let's look at where we can find Jolteon. Jolteon is a bit tricky because you can only find it at the Research Level 3 in the Outway Caves after you finish the game. It's also hidden at the alternate route towards the end, which is a bit tricky to unlock. To find Jolteon, first you will need to take the first alternate route here. Then you will reach a big open area with two carvings and a Marvel below you. Throw Illumina Warps at all of them. Next, Diancie will come up to the right of the route. Again, throw Illumina Warp at the Diancie so that she will emit some pink light. Look ahead of the route, and you will find that Marvel is now calm and will allow you to take the other route. Pick this route here and you will come into the final open area of the route. Look carefully to the bottom and you will find Jolteon hiding behind some plants. Finally, let's take some photos of our last evolution here, Vaporeon. Same as Jolteon, Vaporeon can only be found after you finish the endgame, in the evening route of the Maricopia Reef, once you reach Research Level 2 here. And there are 4 places where you can find Vaporeon. First, Vaporeon will show up right at the beginning of the route. and then it will show up a little bit later for you to complete the land talk request of Voracious Vaporeon. At the middle of the route, you can also get Vaporeon to jump out of the water. This is actually the first encounter for the Vaporeon, as you will need to take some good photos before you can unlock the Vaporeon in the beginning of the route. Finally, you can find Vaporeon again at the end of the route. Now let's look at the third location first. When you scan here, you will find a message saying something is in the water. Play the melody here, and then Vaporeon will jump out. To get to the fourth location, you want to choose the alternate route here. And then you will see that Vaporeon dives back into the water. What you need to do is to light up the crystal bloom between the two cliffs to the right of the route. And once you do that, you will see Vaporeon starts to come out of the water again and jump out to sit beside the clamper. After you take a lot of photos in these two locations to complete all the 4-star levels, you will now unlock the Vaporeon to show up at the beginning of the route. To complete the Voracious Vaporeon request, throw an Illumina Warp to the Vaporeon at the beginning of the route. Then Vaporeon will quickly swim away from you and then show up in the second location. And if you throw an apple to the Vaporeon here, you will be able to get her to eat it. And taking a photo here will complete the Voracious Vaporeon request. And that is every single location I know of where you can encounter Eevee and all the 8 evolutions. It takes me a long time to find all these locations, and I hope you will like this video. If you know of other Eevee and Eeveelution locations that I missed in this video, do leave a comment so that I can learn more about it. And that's all. Thank you for watching.